Hey Coach, it's Coach Simpson. Appreciate you tuning into my YouTube channel. You've been following along this week. You know that this week I'm talking about things that nobody taught you when you became a football coach. These are things that I kind of had to learn along the way. So if you want to look back, I showed one on marketing. You know, basically how to market yourself, how to market your program, a couple of just simple things that can go a long way in the coaching world. Today we're going to talk about fundraising. So fundraising is something that is not taught to coaches. And so what happens a lot of times, we end up deferring this to other people, that's kind of their world, and that's what they do really well. And there's nothing wrong with doing that if that's working for your program. But I can give you a couple tips, I think, that can help you in this world as you hope to, advance your program. You know, everyone needs money to get some of the things we want to make sure our program's at the top of the line. Before I get into this, this week is membership month over at my website. If you're interested, you can become a member of my site and get a lot more in-depth information. Also on this topic, I'll be putting out a new book that's going to be coming out here probably pretty quickly called Fundraising 101. It's basically going to be talking about the way we raised over $1.5 million, small school in Arkansas, poor area, but we're able to get a lot of the things we felt our athletes needed and our athletes deserved. And so I'm not just talking things that I don't know. This is something I have done a lot of. If you want something smaller, I already have a couple fundraising things. Actually, the literal campaign we used on my website. Just go to fbcoachsimpson.com in the materials section, and you can get a lot of different fundraising things that may help you, may help your program. All right, so I'm going to give you just a real quick draft of what is some fundraising 101s that I have learned, that I've applied, and again, I've got about 100 some odd page book coming out pretty quickly that's going to go in a lot more depth. If you're interested, I'll be putting that out. And so first thing on Fundraising 101, I'm not a selfish person. You know, I think that athletics should share athletes. I think that athletics should share facilities. So I'm not talking here about sharing among your school. I'm talking here about sharing money with a company that schools bring in. Okay, so, and I'm not anti any of these companies. Good for them. They found a niche where they can go make money and maybe help a school. But you need to understand that if you bring in so-and-so company and they come into your school and they help you run one of these fundraisers, you're going to give them a significant portion of that money because that's how they stay in business. And they are a business. Their job is to make money, and they help coaches. I'm not anti these people, but the first rule I have is we don't share. I can do these fundraisers and keep 100% of the profit. Inside of that same thing is this. Cookie dough and candle sales and all that stuff is great. Let the band do that. Let baseball do that. Let other programs do that. I want 100% profit. So I'm only going to do fundraisers that give me 100% of that money that I can put back towards my athletes. So that's usually going to include things like advertising. That could be around the facilities. That could be on the back of a t-shirt. That could be on a poster. I'm going to do things, it could be like a lift-a-thon or something where there's nothing involved except you give money to our program. We take that money and we give it back to our athletes. I'm a person, when somebody comes and asks me if I want to buy cookie dough to support whatever, I tell them no, but here's $20 to give to your program. Most people are kind of in that same world. We just want to give money to support you guys, so we want to do that. I don't really want a Yankee candle or a beef jerky stick or whatever else it is. So I don't do any of those things. And I would recommend, especially for large-scale fundraisers, you don't either, okay? Giving 20% to a company doesn't sound like much. Well, what's 20% of $50,000? That's a lot of money. I don't want to give that to somebody else, so we're going to do it ourselves, okay? Second thing, understand when you go ask your community for money, you are asking them for a partnership. You're not asking them for a handout. You're not going to them, you know, a lot of times I used to feel that, man, I'm going to these people begging for money, you know, and I don't like that. You know, don't look at it that way. You're going to offer them something. We usually do it in the form of advertising. We usually do it in the form of something in return for that company for giving us money. Yeah, do it. Sometimes they just give because they want to support the school or support your athletes or support your program. Yeah, they do. But in the world of advertising, they have budgets they spend massive amounts of money on to promote their product. And you have a market, depending on where you are, where a lot of people are going to be around and see their product, whatever that is. So this is a partnership. we're equals. Okay, you're gonna give us money, and in return, we're gonna help your business. Okay, is it always a perfectly equal partnership? No. But are there times that we are helping that company stay afloat, and they do depend on the school a lot of times for a significant portion of business? Absolutely. So understand, when you go in and talk to somebody, you want to use words like, we're going to partner together. If you're not interested, no worries. We'll find something else we can work together on. It's always a partnership, okay? Not a you give us money because we need it and we always take, and never give back. On that note, you got to connect. To do that, you got to connect with businesses. What do they need? What is something that could help your business? How could we help you help your business, and in return, you help us? That may look like a trade. Okay, what if I'll give you a couple examples. Let's say we need a ATV or golf cart for our football program. Well, this company sells ATVs and golf carts. Well, what do they need? Okay, well, they may need to have their company promoted on Friday night when you got 4,000, 5,000, 10,000, however big your school is, people there. Well, why don't you give us a sign to put on the back of your ATV? We use your ATV, that's a trade, okay? And we're gonna have that thing all over our stadium in huge crowds. It's a trade. You're connecting with them and finding out what they need, okay? That also means thank yous. If somebody gives you a large amount of money, you might feel silly giving them a hat, or giving them a shirt, or giving them free tickets to the games. Is that nearly the value they gave you? Absolutely not. But it's something. We are connecting. This is a relationship. It's a partnership. Okay, we want to help you, not just take money from you. Okay. Last thing is keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method works in fundraising. If you need to raise $5,000 because you want to get shirts and shorts for your athletes, well, figure out how much it's going to cost per shirt, and that's what you're going to ask that business to give you to be on the back of the shirt. It's a very literal, easy trade. Hey, we're asking for $500. We're going to put you on the back of this shirt. That money is going directly to this. If you're a company, you see where your money's going. If you were a coach, you got what you wanted. It's simple. Okay, we're going to raise a large amount of money for a video board. Well, we're going to do that through promotions on the video board. Or a field turf. We're going to do that through sponsorships on the field turf. Keep things simple. Don't get into exotic Ponzi schemes or selling all kinds of products that kind of convolute what you're trying to do. Be simple and direct on what you want, how you're going to get there, build out that campaign, and then when you go to businesses, it's very clear what they're giving money for and what they're getting in return. And you're going to have a much better chance of getting what you wanted. Again, guys, I got my book coming out on fundraising. It's worth it. It's getting finished right now because if you can see how I write, I got to get an editor. So she's working on that right now to make sure it's something that will benefit coaches, I think, of any sport. Figuring out how to fundraise to get your kids the best possible facilities, best possible equipment is super important. Last announcement for me, don't forget, it's membership month over at my website. Chance to get a free book. You might as well, if you're going to get a book anyway, might as well join the membership. You actually will end up saving money and getting a bunch of free other stuff. Appreciate you guys' time. Don't forget that the rest of this week we're going to talk about communicating, and then we're going to talk about motivating, which are things that really weren't taught to us coming up before we became a coach.